Sigma males often fly under the radar, leaving many people scratching their heads. They're not your typical alpha leaders or social butterflies, but they're definitely not the shy type either. This unique blend of traits can make these individuals hard to pin down. People struggle to understand Sigma males because they don't fit neatly into social categories. They march to the beat of their own drum, often contradicting societal expectations. What makes these individuals tick? Why do they seem so different? And why do so many people misunderstand them? Here are 7 reasons why. Number 1. They confuse independence with arrogance. One of the most common misunderstandings about Sigma males comes from their strong sense of independence. These guys are comfortable doing their own thing and making decisions without asking what others think. But here's where the confusion sets in. Many people interpret this self-reliance as arrogance. They assume things without any basis, thinking that Sigma men don't care about others or their opinions. But these men aren't trying to show off or act better than anyone else. They just like doing their own thing. They don't need constant approval or validation from others. This can come across as standoffish or cocky to folks who aren't used to it. Think about it. In a world where everyone's scrambling for likes and followers, a guy who's perfectly fine just doing his own thing stands out. He doesn't join every group chat or show up at every party. He's selective about where he spends his time and energy. This independence can rub some people the wrong way. They might think, who does this guy think he is? But it's not about putting on airs. It's just about being comfortable in his own skin. Sigma men don't feel the need to explain themselves or their choices to everyone. They make decisions based on what works for them, not what others expect. This can look like arrogance from the outside, especially in a society that values conformity. But true arrogance is about feeling superior. Sigma independence is about feeling secure in who you are. Big difference. It's all about perspective. What some see as cocky behavior is often just Sigma's comfort in his own skin. They're not trying to be better than anyone else. They're just being themselves without apology. And this can be hard for some people to understand. Number 2. Their disregard for social hierarchies is seen as rebelliousness. Have you ever noticed that one person who doesn't seem to care about the social pecking order? That's often a Sigma trait, but it's easy to misread. In most groups, there's an unspoken hierarchy. People know who the leaders are, who to impress, who calls the shots. But Sigma men don't play that game. They treat the CEO and the intern with the same level of respect. This attitude can stir things up. When someone doesn't show extra deference to the important people, it can come across as disrespectful or rebellious. But that's not the intent at all. Sigma males simply value people for who they are, not for their status or position. They're not trying to climb any social ladders or score points with the in-crowd. This can be refreshing for some and unsettling for others. This trait can be greatly misunderstood in the workplace. A Sigma male might speak his mind in a meeting, regardless of who's present. He's not trying to show off or challenge authority. He just believes good ideas can come from anywhere. This disregard for social hierarchies often comes from a strong sense of self. Sigma males don't need external validation from high-status individuals. They're secure in their own worth and don't feel the need to prove themselves to anyone. But in a world where social climbing is often the norm, this behavior stands out. It can be seen as a form of rebellion against the established order. Some might even view it as naive or foolish, not realizing it's a conscious choice. The truth is, Sigma men aren't rebelling against anything. They're just living by their own values, treating everyone as equals. It's not about disrupting the system. It's about staying true to themselves. Number 3. People mistake their need for solitude for antisocial behavior. People often think Sigma males are antisocial because they enjoy being alone. But they just need some quiet time to recharge. While others might love hanging out in big groups or always being busy, These guys feel best when they have space to think and relax. This doesn't mean they dislike people or can't have fun. They just enjoy doing things on their own terms. You might see a Sigma man leave a party early or not show up at all. It's not because he's trying to be rude or he doesn't care. He might just need a break from the noise and chatter. Being alone helps him clear his head and feel at peace. When Sigma males do hang out with friends, they like deep and meaningful conversations rather than just chatting about nothing. They prefer quality over quantity when it comes to social time. They might have only a few close friends, but those friendships are strong and real. This love for solitude can be hard for others to understand. In a world that values being social and active, the Sigma's quiet time might seem strange or antisocial, but everyone needs something different to be happy. And for Sigma males, alone time is as important as food or sleep. Sometimes, people think being alone means being lonely, but for Sigma males, it's the opposite. Alone time is when they feel most connected to themselves. It's their chance to reflect, recharge, and be in tune with their thoughts and emotions. It's not about avoiding people or being distant. It's about taking care of their mental and emotional well-being. It's a form of self-care that is often misunderstood, but incredibly helpful for Sigma men. Number 4. Their brutal honesty can sometimes seem blunt or rude. Sigma men don't sugarcoat things. If you ask for their opinion, they'll tell you the truth straight up. Some people appreciate this, while others can get offended. Think of a time when you asked someone if your new haircut looked good, and they said it was just okay. That person might be a Sigma. They aren't trying to hurt anyone's feelings. They just believe in being real and straightforward. In a world where folks sometimes say things just to be nice, this level of honesty can be a shock. Imagine asking if your homemade cookies taste good and hearing they're a bit burnt. A Sigma isn't being mean. He's just saying what he really thinks. This honesty also shows up in his work and social life. If he thinks a plan won't work, he'll say it. He's not trying to challenge anyone. He just thinks that being honest will save everyone time and effort. But this can come across as blunt or even rude to people who are used to more considerate feedback. Let's say everyone is praising a new project idea during a team meeting. A Sigma man might point out all the flaws he sees. While others think he's being negative, he believes he's helping make the project better. It's easy to see why people sometimes get the wrong idea about these individuals. This kind of honesty can be hard to take, especially if you're not used to it. Some people may think Sigma men are cold or uncaring, but their honesty is a way of showing respect. The Sigma male thinks it's better to be truthful than to shower others with false praise. He's likely just giving you his honest opinion, and he values truth over comfort. Even if it stings a bit at first, you'll know you're getting the real deal, and that's something you can trust. Number 5. Their quiet confidence is mistaken for aloofness. You're at a party and you spot someone leaning against the wall, observing everyone with a calm, almost mysterious air. That's probably a Sigma male. But a lot of people get the wrong idea about these guys. Sigma men have this quiet confidence that often gets mistaken for aloofness. They're not out there trying to be the life of the party or grabbing everyone's attention. They're just comfortable watching from the sidelines and taking everything in. And that throws people off. In our loud look-at-me world, someone who's not constantly seeking the spotlight can seem a bit odd. We're used to the loud, charismatic types who dominate every conversation. But Sigma males are different. They've got this inner confidence that doesn't need to be on display all the time. Here's where it gets tricky. When a Sigma doesn't jump into every conversation or try to be everyone's best friend, people might think he's being cold or stuck up. But that's not it at all. These guys are often just deep thinkers, taking everything in before they speak. They don't feel that awkward need to fill every quiet moment with random chatter. They speak when they've got something worth saying. But in a world where we're always expected to be on, This can come across as disinterest. The funny thing is, Sigmas are often super engaged, just not in the way we're used to seeing. They're listening, observing, processing. There's a whole lot going on beneath that calm exterior. Number 6. They don't follow the usual social rules. Sigma males skip the social rulebook, not because they're trying to be difficult, but because they don't see the point in many social niceties. Think about those unspoken rules we all follow. Making small talk at parties, laughing at the boss's jokes, pretending to be interested in topics you couldn't care less about. Sigma men often skip these conventions, which can throw people off. They might not engage in office gossip or join in on group complaints. At social gatherings, they might skip the small talk at social gatherings and dive into deep conversations with 1 or 2 people instead. This can make them seem aloof or even rude to those who expect everyone to play by the same social script. Sigma men don't usually care about impressing others or fitting in. They'll wear what they like, regardless of trends. They'll speak their mind, even if it goes against the group's opinion. They might leave a party early if they're not enjoying it, without worrying about how it looks. This behavior isn't about rebellion or trying to be different. It's just that they prioritize authenticity and meaningful interactions over social smoothness. They'd rather have one real conversation than a dozen superficial ones. Of course, this approach can lead to misunderstandings. People might see them as awkward, rude, or antisocial. Actually, Sigma males often have rich social lives. They're just selective about who they spend time with and how. Their disregard for social rules can be appealing to some and off-putting to others. It's all about perspective. What looks like rudeness to one person might be seen as straightforward honesty by another. Number 7. They don't fit easily into typical personality types. When you're an alpha or beta male, everyone knows what to expect from you. You fit into a neat little box that people can understand and predict. But when you're a Sigma male, things aren't so clear-cut. These standard labels are often used to describe how people behave in social situations, but Sigma men operate differently. They can be leaders like alphas, but they don't seek the spotlight. They can be calm and steady like betas, but they don't follow the crowd. Sigma men have their own way of doing things, which can confuse others. They might be super confident but still prefer to work alone. They could be very skilled but aren't interested in showing off. Because they don't fit into neat boxes, people don't always know how to interact with them or understand their actions. The Sigma man won't try to be the center of attention like an alpha, but he won't just follow orders like a beta either. He makes his own decisions and moves at his own pace. This can be hard for others to understand, especially if they are used to more traditional personality types. But that's what makes Sigma men unpredictable. Their blend of independence, confidence, and reserved nature means they don't conform to what others expect. They might not participate in typical social hierarchies where people strive for ranks. They just create their own paths and follow their own rules. When someone doesn't act the way you expect, it's natural to feel unsure about how to relate to them. Sigma men are like that. They skip the usual social games and get straight to the point, which can be surprising in a world full of unspoken rules.